How are you guys doing this morning? Excellent. Very good. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the topic of what we're discussing right now is what makes a truly sticky website, and especially in this market, it's wildly complex. All of the target audience, they're factionalized, and there's a lot of different complexities that exist here in Indonesia that don't exist in markets like the U.S. or like Singapore or like China. So these guys have seen amazing success with their sites, formerly TokoBagus, now OLX, KapanLagi, and Kaskus. So I guess I'm just gonna fire some questions at you guys. I'll start with Steve. Steve, in the early days, you were operating out of Malang with an investment about $200,000. You came close to bankruptcy at one point, and so I guess what we want to know are what were some pivots that you made to sort of slingshot KapanLagi from near bankruptcy to more than 10 million visitors last October?
Okay, I corrected you before, right?
30?
10 million is not correct. Right?
What is it?
The number is 30 millions.
Is that right?
40 millions of the, 40% of the internet users now at visiting our site within a month, right? You know, I do not like sharing. Yes, I never come to stage, yeah, actually, right? Most of the time I spend at the office. And when you are talking about pivot things, what happens back then, right, is different from now, right? It's completely not like what it is today. Right? When you need money, you cannot go to VC. Either you have a rich family, or you have a rich friend, or somebody that you can bump into, right? Without that, you cannot do anything back then, right? And we were probably about 20-something people, right? And we believe in what we believe, right? We hold it true, and we do it over and over again. But, right, back then, the market is not ready for us. We cannot make money out of media business, right? And we try to do that, like, keep doing that. But we didn't realize that the market is not ready, right? So finally, when we think that within the next 3 months, I cannot afford this business, I have to let it go, right? So we start thinking, yeah, that's the crucial part of being a startup, right? When in a bad time, yeah, you are facing a very tough time with your partners, with your team, with everyone in the company, right? In a bad time, everyone is thinking about leaving. Where should I work in the next 6 months? What should I do? Should I create my own startup? Something like that. So they are not concentrating, right? That's a big problem, right? So how to do that, right? To keep everyone in the same spirit. We are here together, right? If you're thinking about building another things, don't do it. Don't do it, right? So that's the power of the founders, I think, right? When you build something, make sure that your team is 100% with you, right? Without that, you cannot have any change. It's all the same. In a bad time, they'll leave you. We are done, finish, right? Back then, we try to find something that is different from what we believe, right? How can we survive and still do what we believe? And that time, we found some niche on the mobile content providing, right, business, and we think that, hey, this is something that we can make quick money, but we know that it's not going to be forever. Probably it's like the next 5 years it'll be gone, right? So that's what we do, right? We find something and we push that, but we believe in what we do before, the media. Yeah, we keep doing the media. That's it.
Okay, how about your editorial focus in the beginning? Was it more general, or was it sort of geared toward entertainment news?
No. So entertainment is come by accident, actually, right? So when we start the company, we're thinking about building some kind of platforms that people can share contents and things like that, right? But there are no content shared, right? So we're thinking about, hey, what about we create our own content, right? How can we build something and then put our how can people use our content if there is no, sorry. How can people use our platform if there is no content, right? So we build our own content, and the first thing that we choose is entertainment, right? Because that's what people are looking for. Right?
Okay, awesome, thank you. Remco, similar web works for you, right?
Yeah, works for me.
Okay, so last month, formerly TokoBagus, now OLX, received about 12 million visitors. You started bootstrapping with a few other people in Bali close to what, 10 years ago, a decade ago?
Yeah,
okay.
9 years ago.
All right, and so from a foreigner's perspective, what were the key insights about Indonesia's market that sort of helped you make your e-commerce sticky? You know, how did you get people to go to the site and stay on, keep using it?
I'm not sure what the foreigner's perspective has to do with it, but I think for us it was mainly execution. 9 years ago, there weren't a lot of sites besides Kaskus that were really actively pushing their platform, managing their platform, doing quality control, yeah, all the things that make the content better for the users and the interface to use the platform. And that's basically what we did in the start. We just pushed, we worked on the UI, we moderated the content, managed the quality, and in the end, that's what visitors want to see, and that makes them come back.
Did you sort of benefit from being a first mover or an early mover in the e-commerce space in Indonesia?
In retrospect, yeah, but I would almost say that we were too early when we started. So people starting now, I would probably later will still be considered early movers. I think this is a much more suitable time to start something than 9 years ago.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. All right, so Ken, I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but as an outsider looking in, Kaskus is an anomaly because it's not one thing, it's many things, you know? Is it a forum? Is it an e-commerce? Is it you know, something completely different? So it wears a lot of hats. What would you say are the 3 elements that make Kaskus such a hit for Indonesians?
Yeah, it's true that we are a lot of hats, and we're a forum, we're sometimes a news provider, sometimes we're a e-commerce, and now we're a payment system as well. But it evolves to begin with what the users want. I mean, it's a habit of ours. At the beginning, Kaskus forum was just for Counter-Strike when Andrew built it. And then it grows one by one to gossip, to cars, to hobbies, and all that. And then it follows through. I mean, in terms of the business model itself, we felt that, hey, we got a lot of people looking for a platform for them to buy and sell. That's why we built the e-commerce platform as well. So I think what we did great in terms of Kaskus, even though we have a lot of different hats, is that we adapt and we're flexible enough for us to follow through with what the users want, as long as it's still complementing each other in terms of the business model. So far, that's what makes us successful, in a sense. That many hats, what makes us successful. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. It's not that you do one thing particularly well, but it's because you're so lateral that Indonesians really appreciate it.
Because when me and Andrew came back to Indonesia, when we set up the company, we called it Darta Media Indonesia. Dar for Darwis and Ta is for my last name, Lawadinata. We felt that this company has to be called by the company's name, not by just Kaskus. Why? Because we felt that when we built this company, we wanted to be a solution provider. We don't care why the user comes to our place. It's just that as long as we provide it, as long as the solution that we give them is relevant, they come in as a community member or they come in because they want to buy something, it doesn't matter to us. As long as our company can just keep on evolving towards something that is relevant to the current users. Yeah.
Okay. So this question is actually for all of you. So anyone, either one of you, feel free to jump in. So what's one principle that you guys can that you applied back in the early days of your sites that you could also relay to a new generation of founders to help make your site particularly sticky and attractive to the local market?
Well, maybe I can share a bit on Kaskus. Kaskus up until now, since 1999, now it's already 2014, we never have any marketing budget at all. And we never spend money on Google Ads or on any other sites. We never spend any budget. But we still can gain traction. So what I can share is that when you build a startup, it's not all about marketing. The way we see it is that as long as the product is good, that's the first step of good marketing. I mean, people would share with each other, and people would just share to his friends and families that, hey, there's this platform that works for me and solve my problem. So we grow organically. I mean, for 14 years now, we have been growing organically. And we haven't been using any budgets at all on marketing. So one thing that I would say that let's not be fixated on when you want to build startup, oh, we have to have enough money to be able to buy ad space or any other stuff like that. Make sure your product is good. Yeah.
Okay, make sure your product is good. Remco, one early principle that you applied that still is relevant 9 years later, 10 years later?
Well, basically, like I just said, like quality. I think relevancy, like Ken says, combined with quality, and yeah, we added some marketing money on top of that. It helps, but those three ingredients are needed. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve.
Right. For me, because KLN KapanLagi Network was started as an internet company, we do not have a burden to be a media, right? Our competitors are mostly a media company, established media company that comes from probably from TV, from prints, from everywhere, right? And they have some kinds of rules that it works on TV, it should work on online. It works on prints, it should work online, right? That kinds of rules are in the mind or in the heart of every editors that we have in the company. But we do not start from a traditional media company. So we do not know, we do not have any standard, right? What we know is what we like, right? What we like to see, what we like to read, what we like to hear online, right? That's what we create, right? So we create the things based on the online appetites on consuming content. That's what we do, right? And now if you are seeing in the world, there are BuzzFeeds or all those Vice.com, yeah, all those internet company that are killing the big media company, right? I think they are doing the things that the internet people love, right? It's not about where you start, where you come from, right? It's about giving people what they love, right? That's it, right?
For KapanLagi, would you say that sort of a strength or a unique value proposition that you have is syndicating all of your editorial across different media outlets in Indonesia? You resell a lot, right? So are you able to get much more profit than the other big local players because of that?
Not like actually like we create, yeah, because all our editors are internet guys. I mean, they are 20-something, you know, they're young and they know the internet. They never consume newspapers. They never consume. They don't really consume TV, right? They live in the internet, right? So they create things just like what they want, right? And the internet users respond to that. It's because something that coming from them, right? They easily enjoy that. Easily enjoy the content the way they enjoy the internet, right? And along the way, as we are growing, right? Used to be we only have KapanLagi, and then we have Pola, and then we have blah blah blah, and then we have Merdeka and Vimela, and everyone and all the verticals. Yes, of course that helps, right? Because when people growing from KapanLagi, yeah, Used to be they love probably they love One Directions or something, right? And then one day they graduate from that, right? They want something else. We still have like Merdeka, right? The same users, but they're growing old, right? Something like that, and it helps our media to grow.
Okay, great. So Remco, the toughest decision you ever had to make for TokoBagus?
Not many, actually. I think going doing TV advertising before we really decided to do that. I think that was a tough decision in terms of finance, and it wasn't proven yet. Well, not locally anyway. I think that was a tough decision. Yeah. For the rest, in TokoBagus, not many really tough decisions that I lost sleep over. No.
So it was pretty smooth sailing for you then, all the way to the top.
No, but there's a difference between really tough decisions or working hard and you know, improving the platform. And yeah, I think going TV was really a turning point in every way. Like, it was a hard decision, and in the end it paid out.
Okay. Ken? Toughest decision, Kaskus?
For Kaskus? Well, I would recall back to 2008 when we have to close our adult content. So our adult content was enjoyed by many and personally as well. So it was a very tough decision. But actually, as a business, at the end of the day, we saw when I decided to join in with Andrew was that because Kaskus at that time has enough number of eyeballs, in a sense, users. So the way I see it as a pool of users, I can expand this to other business models. I would have that chance. So when we're supposed to close the adult content, the way I see it is that we're going to cut a couple of these users, quite a huge chunk of that users. But ended up, it turns out to be good. Why? Because once we cut it off, yes, we lose a huge chunk of users, but ending up, we got more users coming in because they felt that Kaskus is no longer a sleazy site or an underground site. And they felt that Kaskus is a more mainstream, and they can open it more openly rather than in a private time kind of scene, yeah. So that was a tough decision for me because when we first came back, it was 2008 March. And then at the beginning of that year as well, suddenly we got hit by the, what do you call that, the anti-pornography law. Right at that year, it was published that year. So it was it's too soon for us to actually, you know, like try to brace ourselves in a sense. So we just have to cut it off. And the decision to cut it off, yes, it was a hard one, but it turns out to be good. Yep.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, you were able to capture a majority market by getting rid of the questionable material.
Getting rid of the more interesting users, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
The more colorful users.
More colorful, yes, yes.
Okay, toughest decision for you, Steve?
Yeah, toughest decisions actually happen day to day, right? When I have to face someone and look in the eyes, and I said to him that, why are you getting married? I don't want you to get married. If you're getting married, then I cannot fight with your wife. That's a problem for me. Don't get married. You are only 24, right? That's the problem that I face almost every day. Right? I do not want my best people to get married. I do not want my best people to do things that not for the company, right? It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can say that. If you have a partner and thinking about getting married in the next 3 years and you are only 24, okay, fire him, right? You're not gonna get there, right? You have to be in a positions where everybody is concentrating on your business. That's it. And the problem with that is that you have to face them, right? Like 2 weeks ago, somebody is saying to me that he's really good, right? And he's saying to me that, hey, I want to build my own business and I want you to support me. And it's tough for me. I know the idea is great, right? I know he's a very good people, very good someone that can run the business. But if I lose him, then I lose everything, right? So that's a very hard thing to do, right? Looking in the eyes, and it's about his future, and then saying to them, don't do that. That's hard, right? But I have to do that almost every day. So if you are one of you comes to work with Kyle and I notice you, you are very good, then the next problem is that you're not getting married soon. All right? That's very important. Right?
Okay. All right. So, again, a question for each one of you. One site or internet company, not your own, that shows the most promise, in your opinion, in Indonesia. Let's start. We can start with you, Steve. Yeah.
Reply first,
All
right? Because they are both billionaires and they are already exist, you right?
Okay.
They cannot say anything, right? But I am still here in operation. So, what is the next site? Can anybody say something? Right? Of course, it's going to be KapanLagi Network. Yes, that's our why we are here for more than 10 years, because we want to make it. We want to be something that really, yeah, in the Steve Jobs world, probably, yeah, to make a dent in Indonesia, not in the universe. We operate here in Indonesia. We will make a dent in Indonesia.
Okay.
And that's KapanLagi for me, for sure. Yeah.
I cannot say one single site, but I can say one single industry. Business line, which is the e-commerce. The e-commerce scene in Indonesia has been very, very promising, and I can't say one single company because there's a lot of them that actually seems very promising. I mean, a couple years back, there's players like us and TokoBagus where we play general, where we become a platform. But nowadays, we see a lot of sites that coming in really focus on verticals on the items that they're selling. Some are doing fashion, some are doing on health, diets, and all that. And this is, they seem small right now, but soon, within 1 or 2 years from now, they're going to be big, because this is a sign of e-commerce catching up. I mean, going up there, because the entrepreneurs are getting more and more focused. I mean, I can say Lazada has been doing very great. Blibli, Barry Benka, my friend, and then my competitor and friend, which is Bilna, their execution has been very good. And the e-commerce in Indonesia is going to be very, very interesting in the next couple of years. Yeah.
Do you expect to see more big money coming in, $100 million investment in local e-commerce, or is that sort of?
We already got that, right? From SoftBank was investing on Tokopedia, right? So it's just a start of it. I mean, when we're talking about 3 years, 4 years ago, oh, somebody got invested for $5 million. Wow, 10, 15, and now 100. Maybe in the next 3 years, you wouldn't be surprised if somebody got 500 million. So e-commerce in Indonesia, with our number of population and our growth of the economy, the middle class, Indonesia is very, very promising on that scene. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Remco?
Yeah, I kind of got to agree with Ken here. Coming from a horizontal side, I'm much more focused now on verticals, and basically saying the same names like Bilna, Brodo, like verticals, really focused on what they do. Yeah, that's the big growth there. Even though the guys like Lazada, Zalora, they will catch the attention, but the potential is in the verticals, I think.
Okay, excellent. So, Steve, people around the world, and particularly in Indonesia, they demand free news and free content. Today, even if a media startup is getting a lot of traffic, a high volume of visitors, it's still tough for them to find ways to monetize. They always have to be creative in ways that they make money. In brief, what are some hacks that media startups can use to make their business more sustainable and profitable?
Okay. The problem with the online media or any kinds of people who are making money from advertising is that you are facing giants, right? Your competitors are giants. Who are they? Yeah, from the international, probably the likes of Google and Facebook, right? If you are talking to any advertisers in the country, the first company that comes up to their mind, right, is Google or Facebook. Let's even startup, right? Spending all the money is on Google and Facebook. That's the big thing that you have to face as a media company, online media company, right? And in locally, you have to deal with the TV company, the online print company, anyone that in advertising business, yeah? People can say that they are not competing with us, but we are eating the same lunch, right? So we are competing with them. And how to get something that is, how to get our revenues in a very competitive market like this, yeah? You have to have something different, right? Everybody, any company have something different, right? Like our company, we have something that we can sell and other cannot sell. What is that? I'm not gonna tell you, right? But, yeah, we find something that we can sell and nobody else can sell, right? It's not a magic. If you do it long enough, right? You work on this 2 years, 3 years, 24 hours on that, you will know that something. You will crack something, right? And that things, yeah, that things that you know that nobody knows, right? You can sell it. And you can sell it at your own price, at your own time when you want to sell it. How you do it your way, right? That's the way we do it, right? Even in a very tough phone business, somebody always make a way, right? In the media, what we are afraid, right? We are talking about what are you afraid of, right? I'm afraid, yes. I'm facing all those Google and Facebook, yeah. It's scary for me, yeah. But what I'm afraid most is the two guys in the garage, right? Guys like you here, right? You can come up with an idea and change everything, right? That's very scary, right? And why you can change everything? Because you know something that nobody knows, and you can do it. You can execute that properly. That's
okay. Excellent. So, actually, because all three of you are sort of in different sectors, I'll take this question and sort of repackage it and make it apply to each one of you. Remco, in your particular niche, what are some key pieces of data that all e-commerce entrepreneurs should be focusing on?
Well, actually, I'm not an e-commerce entrepreneur. I did a classified site, so that's
yeah.
kind of different. But I'm involved in some e-commerce. I think key data, it's nothing new. It's, you know, looking at Indonesia, it's obviously distribution is a thing that you gotta, you know, I think for a lot of outsiders, it's like they see the website, they see the mobile app, but the back end, the distribution, the warehousing, production, everything that comes along with that, I think that needs to focus as well, so that if you grow on the front end, the back end can keep up. You're still a healthy, profitable company. Yeah, and obviously, you know, mobile, but yeah, that's kind of obvious, but mobile is bigger now in e-commerce, so do that first, and then move to desktop, payments. Yeah, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. It's not like one package of data, like, yeah, do that and you're going to be fine. Yeah.
Okay, so then what makes you optimistic or pessimistic about the future of your particular industry?
Well, I'm always optimistic. Else I will go home. I don't know, like it's a huge country and everything is going up, so that makes everybody optimistic. You just asked, you know, is more money coming in, more investments? Well, I'm sure it's like it's never been this hot in Indonesia as now. So at the moment the only way is up, on both sides, on people starting companies and people investing in companies, but also on the users, the visitors, the you know, the people that we help. So really optimistic, yeah.
Okay, great. Ken, some key pieces of data that make you encouraged or interested about the future of your particular niche?
No matter what background or what kind of business model that we do, I mean, we do community, yes, we do payment system, and I personally did my Tororo.com as an e-commerce site as well for baby. All I'm looking for is just unique users. If I have numbers of unique users increasing every month, if I have that users coming back again every month, I'm happy with it. I mean, because I'm always a believer of viewers. I don't really believe in the numbers of revenues and profits. I mean, it always comes, yes. Profits and revenue always comes once we already have enough traction. So Kaskus and any other sites that I'm doing right now, all I care right now is just the users. If I have an increasing numbers of users month to month, I'm positive. Even if I'm lack of cash flow, I'm still positive in the sense that I would be able to get an investor coming in. Because as long as I have the users, my potential to make money, to monetize, it's still open. But if I just create a very beautiful business plan, but I don't have the users, no point. So I'm just looking at one thing, which is users. Yeah.
So they should, so then you would say that entrepreneurs should just focus on users as their their primary.
Yeah, I mean, like Kaskus only focus on users. I mean, in terms of our dollar per users, I think we're not that great, but we're being valued that great just because of the users, and advertisers paying us millions of dollars every year just because we have the users. We can only do this advertising business, and we can only do the payment stuff. We can only branch out to the classified only because we got the users. If we didn't have that to begin with, probably our forum wouldn't grow up to more than 10 categories. So only because of the users that we can branch out now.
I see. And actually, just a quick add-on. Has there been a change in leadership at Kaskus recently?
It has been since last year, since the last Startup Asia.
Right, okay. So, but nothing
nothing major.
recently.
Me and Andrew, we're still involved, yes, but not as involved as day-to-day as last time.
Right.
So right now, the team is much more solid than before. So as you know, as a business owner, I always say to Andrew that I don't think it's great for us to be in the company all the time. Why? Because we're going to be biased. And it's always a goal for us to have a professionals running it. Yeah.
Okay. Key pieces of data that encourage you about your niche. Steve.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Some key pieces of data or facts that encourage you about the future of digital media.
Data that encourage me? Okay, right.
Or facts.
Yeah, it's the, you know that, right? You are having this because of that data, right? Because of a lot of internet users here, right? A lot of, all those kinds of trendings, right? That happens, that what we see now. The mobile is big, the internet user is growing, and it's going to be 100 million soon, something like that, right? But actually, as a startup, right, what you need to see, right, is not about just the data, because the data everybody knows about, right? What you really need to see is that can you stay in the business in the next 3 years, and you stay in the business in the next 5 years, right? It's tough. Believe me, it's tough, right? When you are in a good time in the next 3 years, one of your partners will say that, hey, I want to quit and I want to retire somewhere in Bahama or something, right? And you are in a bad time, then you have a fight with them, right? And now the question is, in the next 3 years or in the next 4 years, with all the data, all the excitement of the internet in Indonesia, right? Will you be able to keep the company just like now, like today? Will you keep the spirit? That's tough, right?
I see.
That's what I want to say.
Okay. So we just have like a couple more minutes left. Just want to briefly get just a brief response from each of you. Remco, what is a meaningful exit to you from a company?
For me, a meaningful exit, because I'm not going to bite here, is when I leave a company and it's ready for the future. When I leave a team and I know that the team is going to be fine. That's a meaningful exit.
Okay.
Meaningful exit. Well, cash is always meaningful. But once you already got the cash, it's legacy. Yeah? It's exactly what Remco says. I mean, you're hoping that what you create still can give positive impact and change a lot of people's life. And you also want the team that build it with you would have a brighter future, in a sense. So getting out of the company and knowing that the company is not going to be in a good condition in the next couple of years, and your staff is not going to be in a good care, it's going to be very, very heartbreaking. Yeah. So the way I see it, cash, yes, but the other end of it is that your legacy. Yeah.
So legacy, and knowing that your employees are going to be taken care of. What about you, Steve? What's a meaningful exit?
The same like the other guys. Same like Remco and and can. Yeah. Nothing more.
All right, excellent. Remco, is there anything else that you would like to share? Perhaps in a minute and a half, a cautionary tale. What should entrepreneurs not do in your space?
What they should not do. Start a social media site. I don't know. Like, what should they not do? Like, they should focus on what they want to do. Like, not get drunk in the office. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, what they should do. Maybe I can tell something about that. But what they should not do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. If you guys have nothing else to share with the audience, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on stage. I really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you.